Manson is cooking shit up.
What is going on? Welcome to the Heatwave Spotlight. This is our 6th episode, if I'm not mistaken. Let me look over here. Yeah, this is episode number 6. Today we've got EVM, the freshman. He might be EVM, the graduate. We're going to talk a little bit about that. We're going to determine if he's Eric Von Mason or Eric Von Manson. And we're going to talk about his storied past and how he, started with FL Studio, took a pretty long hiatus and came back to it, and what his inspirations are and all of that. You know him from hosting the back-to-back with our boy Brainiac the Maniac. So let me bring him on. EVM, how you doing?
Hey, what's going on, Jason?
Hey, what is happening? So which is it, Mason or Manson?
Okay, so for clarification, it is Eric Von Manson. And I'll tell you how that glitch came up. When I got confident enough to want to tag for myself, I went to Drip. And we all know who Drip is. Shout out to Drip, wherever you are, girly. Mm-hmm. So I said, Drip, I need a tag that's going to make me pop. You know what I'm saying? She said, okay, well, you know what you got. So I said, okay, bet. So I said, how about Eric Von Manson is cooking shit up? And she was like, I like that. So when she did the tag, it came out as Eric Von Mason.
Ah. And that's where I got confused. Like, as everybody might have heard in the intro beat, thank you for donating that beat, by the way, for our little countdown before this show starts. Yeah, I definitely heard Mason. So everybody, it's Manson, Eric Von Manson. What inspired you with that name? Like, how'd you come up with that?
Okay, so a couple of years back, and this is how it kind of kicked off for me. My cousin, Greg Sims, him and his cousin and little brother and a couple of his friends was putting together a rap group. And, of course, Greg's other cousin, who is Philip Thomas, who I later on found out is my cousin. You know, he was a DJ, so he was like, yo, can you make beats for us and stuff? He said, look, I don't make beats. I DJ, Greg. But I'm going to pass you off to my boy, Troy. because he knows how to make beats and all that other good stuff, and probably wants to produce. And plus, I used to babysit Greg, so if he's watching, you know what I'm saying, you know, don't be upset. I'm just dropping the truth. So anyway, Greg came to me and was like, "Yo, Troy, you know, me and my cousins and my friends, man, yo, we need guidance." So they were still in high school, so went over there and we started hanging out, started getting the beats together. We just put our names together. And back then we used to go by a group called Individual Souls. So everybody had a soul. I was the uncanny soul. So I went by the name of Mystic Realms back then. He was going by BCM. He was calling himself Black Charles Manson. Okay. And then as the group progressed, he changed his name to SWAT. He became a hardcore rapper. But then I have always been, and don't look at me like I'm crazy, but I always been a fan of Charles Manson, not for all of the killings that he did, but his intellect, because he was actually a very intelligent man. So I rolled with that and always been a fan of Helter Skelter whenever it would come on. So I said, "Man, you're dropping that? You just going to leave that name like that?" I said, "Let me take that." So back then I took that name and I started writing. I was also a rapper too. A lot of people didn't know that. I had a short stint of being a rapper, and I started calling myself Big Manson. I was big and just put Manson on the end of it. It sounded pretty fly, you know, and all the songs and stuff. But then years went down the road. I met my wife, Dawn Copeland, and her maiden name is Von Siebenhoven. So I took Eric from Phantom of the Opera because he was one of the main characters. His name was Eric. You know what I'm saying? He's a Phantom, so I took Eric. Took spelled the E-R-I-K. Then I took Vaughn from my wife's maiden name, Eric Vaughn, and then Manson, you know, since I love Charles Manson, put all together Eric Von Manson. So you got two personalities rolled up into one person. So I got you. So that's how Eric Von Manson was born.
Little Jekyll and Hyde action.
Exactly.
Yeah, I love it. That's awesome. That's awesome. All right. Hey, now we know the story. I'd love to know the story behind everybody's producer names, because we have so many like colorful ones, you know, that you know there's a story behind all of them, and yours is definitely one of them.
Oh yeah, everybody. It's like Dr. Dre said in his It's like Dr. Dre said in his documentary back in the early '90s called The Show. You ever see that?
No,
If you get a chance, go back and look up The Show. Okay. That's where The Show had to be one of the dopest soundtracks back in the '90s. So apparently, Dr. Dre, they all did skits in between the beats. So when they got to Dr. Dre, he said hip hop is about gimmicks. Every rapper has a gimmick. Every producer has a gimmick. Just like for Dr. Dre. Dr. Dre lived in Riverside, California. And we all know there's a lot of plastic surgeons and stuff out there. So Dr. Dre was like, you know what? I'm going to be the surgeon to making my beats and stuff. So I'm calling myself Dr. Dre. Right. So for me, I was like, I'm not wrapped too tight. I could probably be in a straitjacket when I'm writing my bars. They even told me I sound like Bizarre from D12. So I said, yeah, we're going to go with Eric Von Manson because I'm not wrapped too tight.
Oh, I got you. All right. But your rap is tight.
Right. At least for some people. Not for everybody, but for some, you know.
All right, cool. Drew Burford's calling out your Kango, saying you're rocking the Kango this evening.
Yeah. I mean, I got a haircut and all, but I mean, you know, I just wanted to be real chilled and laid back and stuff, man. So I felt Kango was fitting for the occasion.
All right. Perfect. Well, let me jump into a couple things that you mentioned in your. So, you know, I was asked a few questions beforehand just to, you know, see if there's any points you want to hit on.
Sure.
I'm seeing on here that you are coming back to FL Studio after 18 years. What's that story? What took you away and what brought you back?
Okay, so I brought up Individual Souls. So before Individual Souls came along, how I got into using FL Studio. I used to work security at Reading, Pennsylvania at St. Joseph's Medical Center. And I was on a security team / anti-terrorist team. And I met a really cool dude, and his name is Jose Vasquez. But when we linked up, we called ourselves Mahogany Minds. And Jose went by Venom. His flow was more or less like Puff Daddy, but he had bars. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So Jose was like, yo, you should come to my house, man. You know what I mean? I'm starting to make beats on this software called FL Studio. And it was FL Studio 1.
Oh, okay. Was it Fruity Loops?
Actually, it went by Fruity Loops. It wasn't even going by FL Studio then.
Yeah. Oh,
So,
wow. All right.
he had a Casio keyboard in his basement. He had one studio monitor and a microphone. And we did all of our production in a basement that looked like you could have shot a DAS Effects video there. But anyway, he introduced me to it, and I started, watching what he did. I said, man, I really want to get into this beat making stuff, man. And then he said, so this is when, oh my God, this is when Shazam was out. This is when Verizon had that cable, that broadband cable that you had to DSI. That's what it was. DSL.
Yeah,
I said DSI security company. Jesus. So it was DSL, and he downloaded it for me. Of course, it was bootleg like a mug.
Mm-hmm.
So he gave it to me.
Download, yeah.
Oh yes. Took it home, started making beats and stuff like that, and was loving it. But also at the time, I was married to my ex-wife, and I was like a Jamaican. I was working like 4 or 5 jobs, bro. And her thing was, you gotta work. And when I was trying to put my heart and my passion into making these beats, she was just like, she wasn't feeling me. So I had no support. So it put me in like a depression just to stop making the beats. Years went by. Ran into the same situation again in Colorado with the female that I was with. Couldn't make no beats there. So I was really in a slump. Had all these ideas and samples in my mind and couldn't let it out. 2017 came around. I came back to North Carolina. Wasn't even here long. And I was like, I'm lonely as hell, man. I need to meet some people. So then went on this site, Big Girl Tinder. And I found my wife there. And then
Big Girl Tinder?
Yeah, there is a Big Girl Tinder. She'll contest to it. So I met her and told her about all my dreams and everything. She told me about all hers, and then I found myself proposing to her. We got married. But before we got married, a lot of interesting things happened. She started to help me piece my DJ equipment together and my production equipment. One of the first pieces of equipment she got me was a signature signed DJ Jazzy Jeff Pioneer DDJ controller.
Wow.
That was the first gift I got from her for Christmas. She asked me what I wanted. I just threw it out there. I didn't think she was going to get it. Sure enough, she recorded me with the tears of snot bubbles and stuff. I'm glad she ain't ever showed nobody that. But she got me that. The second gift that she got me that following Christmas was, and I don't know if you guys heard of it, but I was using a DAR called Magic's Music Maker. If you want a DAR that's going to challenge you and it's complicated, pick that up and have a couple of drinks and smoke and tell me what you think about that.
That's awesome. No, thank you.
But
my stuff's simple.
But she heard me talking about FL Studio for years, and then it came down to a point where I downloaded it again. I think you all know how, and I started using it and started getting back into beat making, and she's been my backbone ever since.
So I would, the advice I think that we can all take from that is if you are looking for a significant other, find somebody that supports you in your music and support them in whatever dreams they have, and that's what's going to make a good relationship, right?
Jason, that's what's wrong with the world today, man. There's no more morals. There's no morals today. The generation has changed. Relationships changed. Marriages changed. But if you honestly and you truthfully want somebody that's going to believe in you, you got to believe back in them. If they're investing time and effort and trying to make a foundation grow with you, you got to give back. Just like people give back to the community, you got to give back to your spouse. You got to give back to your fiance. You got to give back to your girlfriend. It just can't be one of those situations where she's giving you everything and you're taking it, but you ain't giving nothing back.
Right.
That's why you hear a lot of women saying, men ain't shit. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Or they're making you work 10 jobs and you don't get to do your music. That's a bad situation, right?
That was something else. I said I could never be with somebody else, man, that can't support me making beats and all that other stuff, man. So I was like, never again. And come to find out, I mean, even Mrs. EVM, she took piano lessons, so she knows chord progressions, all that other stuff, all that other stuff.
Oh, that's cool.
But she was like, but I ain't gonna be easy with you. I'm gonna show you how to do this stuff, but it's her secret sauce.
Right. So
I have none.
Maybe she can give you some piano loops or something, and then you could flip them.
I tried, but she was like, "No, you need to learn. You need to learn stuff the hard way." So I said, "Okay, fine, cool."
So the next thing I want to talk about is your musical journey, right? You've been a hip hop head since it started, basically, and you kind of. It sounds like you were an artist, and you grew into you went into boom bap for a while, and then you switched it over to trap. Like, tell us how that journey happened and how that happened in general.
Oh wow! So let's take a journey way back to FL Gangland. Okay, so when I started making these beats, I wanted to find a group that could help me learn some stuff. I was novice, rookie, etc., etc. So this is when it was just FL Gang. The first two people I met was Jay Hayden and Drip, and I got close to those guys, and then we all know there was a departure from FL Gang, and then FL Gangland was created. I worked around these guys, and I was learning that they were basically saying boom bap was dead, and it hurt my heart because I was like, boom bap is dead. I was like, but this was like this started everything. Like, what's going on?
Right.
So they're like, you gotta get down with trap and lo-fi and drill if you're gonna make it in Gangland. So I was like, alright. So I had to unlearn boom bap and learn how to make trap and lo-fi and drill. So it just so happened Jay was doing a clean sweep in FL Gangland, and I was already inboxing Jay, asking him how to snap stuff to the grid and how to arrange stuff a little bit better and stuff. And he said, I'm making an announcement in the group, make sure that you're there. And I was already 3 or 4 months in, and then Jay was like, look, JC Pope is having a show, and it's going to be a slow jam hour. Whoever does not make a beat for this show is getting booted from Gangland, because we have a lot of people here that's here, but they're not contributing or making any beats. So I looked at Dawn and I said, damn, I really don't want to get kicked out. She said, well, make a beat. Like, stop procrastinating. Like, if this is what you want to do, you need to do this. So I said, damn, okay. So I sat there and I made what I thought was Slow Jam, and I played it for y'all, and it's good comic relief because God knows that slow song was all over the place. And I made my first beat to break out of my shell on FL Gangland on JC Pope's show after all those years.
That was your first like non-boom bap type of beat?
It was my first non-boom bap type beat. Matter of fact, it was supposed to be a Bryson Tiller type beat. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm. Damn. All right.
Whoo, did I get roasted?
Oh, damn. Well, hey, and now you're hosting challenges to get people out of their comfort zone and try new things. So that's pretty cool that you made that evolution, you know?
Well, when I was invited to Heatwave in the beginning, it was called Bedroom Producers. And I was invited in and made an admin. Mm-hmm. And the old owner was like, do what you need to do to make things better. You know what I'm saying? So I fought back to all the people who was getting roasted and ended up running away and wasn't given a fair shot. I said, we're not roasting people here in Heatwave. We want people to come out, and we want people to break out their shells, and we want to embrace these guys and nurture them so they can start becoming better artists and then joining our competitions and do everything, that they need to do, just so they're not hiding anymore. So I made it a judge-free platform. That's awesome. And I'm really big. I'm really big on respect, and I'm really big on how you treat people. I feel like when you roast somebody who's given their complete best and putting the beat out, but it doesn't sound like anything we're doing right now because we're advanced. But these people, they're putting their hearts and souls into their beats, but you're laughing at them. And I'm like, that ain't cool.
I agree.
That ain't cool.
That's odd, and I'm so glad you started this platform. And I want to acknowledge a couple things going on in the chat real quick. So OG McNeil wants to know if that was a boomerang joint.
No, it wasn't the boomerang joint. It was the joint where every 5 seconds you hear a guy going, "Oh!"
I think I remember that. I think I do remember that.
Oh, and also, FYI, I have to say this, and it's only right, you know what I mean? Because you gotta give everybody their flowers. When I was brought into Bedroom Producers and I was told I had creative control, one of the first people that I went after was my guy, my brother, and probably one of the people I look up to as of late. That's Fiction, Pat Carney. And I worked exclusively with Pat, and then we started bringing in talent and building our team, and that's why that's exactly why Heatwave is strong the way that it is, man, because I knew that Pat had an amazing bio, and working with Pat through a couple of situations in Gangland, I always said to myself, man, if I could link up with somebody like Pat and his experience, I would most definitely love to have him on my team, and that's one of the first people that I went after. That's a real talented man.
Yeah. Well, Aaron Island says you came a long way. That was just last year when that happened. That was only a year ago.
Yeah. Yeah, I came a long way because I'll be the first person to admit it. I didn't have thick skin walking into making trap and drill and lo-fi. I did not have thick skin for that. I didn't have thick skin for people to criticize my stuff. I really didn't know how to take criticism. I was like, man, I'm older than half of you guys in here. You're disrespecting me on my beats? So that's just how I felt, man. But then the more that I submitted to Beat of the Week, I started to gain confidence. Skin wasn't as thick, but I was trying. I was showing up to these shows, and that's actually where I met Aaron Island.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well, Keith from Canada, Kilo Beats, he says, but at the same time, hard critics can push you to get better. However, it doesn't work that way with everyone. So,
He's right. He's right. He's 100% correct, man. And
but you're still chasing away some if you take that approach, and
right. It works for some people, and it doesn't work for others. I was neutral. It could work for me, or it wasn't going to work for me. But I also had people along the way that would not let me quit.
Mm-hmm.
And they could tell I didn't have thick skin, man. OG McNeil being one of them. There's times I had conversations with OG McNeil, and he was like, I think you have a knack for this drill stuff, man. And I think you need to do it, because a whole lot of people ain't doing drill right now. I did drill to the point, Jason, that every time they announced my name on Beat of the Week, they're like, here comes another drill beat.
Mm-hmm. I remember that, yeah.
Me and Brian Curran were the only ones doing drill beats back then.
There were a lot of drill jokes.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, I remember that, yeah.
Oh, yes.
Well, I can say I kind of know when your beat comes up, even in the Friday night spot when there's no tags.
Really?
Because of your 808s and your movie quotes. Like, you always have like some movie quote, and then your 808s would be like, they're crazy, man. I want to learn how to do 808s like that. Like, it's nuts. Do you have any secrets on how you get your 808s like that?
Probably one of the most basic things to making your 808s hit hard. And it's basic. If you're using 808s from a sound pack, what you want to do is when you drag it into FL Studio, you're going to right click the actual 808, the 808 drum, mm-hmm. and it's going to take you into a preview of it where you can see a sound wave. Above that, you're going to see a box that it looks like there's a leg hanging out of it. You have to adjust that until it's a complete square, and you have it backed up against the wall. And then the most important thing is whatever note that you're using for your melody, you want to make sure that your 808 matches that note. Like if I was doing the F note, you want to make sure that your 808 is fine-tuned to that F note.
Right.
And that's one of the basic things just to getting it to sound right. As far as mixing it, you know what I'm saying? When you get it onto your mixer channel and stuff, add a little bit of reverb to it and just play with it till it sounds the way that you want it to.
Gotcha. All right. Okay. And I think you hop a lot of octaves. Like I hear it. Do you use a slider at all, and do you jump up octaves kind of pretty often?
When you're doing the slider, that's pretty much what you're supposed to do. You know what I mean? You get the slider, you put the slider where you want it, and then as it's playing, you want to go up. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes you can lay it on your ghost notes, and even once you lay it on your ghost notes, you still want to go up a couple octaves, so it gives you that. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because if you don't, it's just gonna be just going straight. Right, so you want it to jump up and have different octaves to it.
I think that's a good segue into getting into some of your music here. So I've got No Tomorrow, Rogue One, and Sad Days. Which one of those would you like to play first, and do you have a story for any of them?
Okay, we're going to do Sad Days first. Sad Days is one of the first songs that I produced last year for my nephew, Astro Marley.
Okay.
And also, the beat was used in my first ever battle against A1 from the Outsiders. And it's one of those beats that I figured you wasn't going to really hear anymore, so I just had it sitting there. And then my nephew heard the battle, and he was like, I want that beat. And then he was like, I'm going to send you my lyrics and then you're going to produce it. And I was like, oh my God. I was like, I really don't know how to produce this, but we're going to make this work. So, of course, went to YouTube and watched how to do an actual production video, got everything arranged on the grid, and then just took it from there. And then Sad Days was born.
Okay. Well, it's Don Copeland's favorite.
I remember when we were going to a friend's house, and I said, babe, you gotta hear this. I was so proud of it, Jay. I was like, you gotta hear it. And when I played it for her, she's like, oh my God, this is amazing. I was like, I know.
All right, well, let's hop right into it. Let's hear it. Here we go.
EVM, the beat savior.
Hey, yeah.
Hey, yeah. Hey, yeah. I done had a couple sad days. Hella broke and smoking roaches at the ashtray. Walking for days, hoping I can find myself. That's why I grind so hard to stand like it's my last day. Can't fix the past, I done had a couple sad days. Hella broke and smoking roaches at the ashtray. Walking for days, hoping I can find myself. That's why I grind so hard to stand like it's my last day. Like it's my last. It's getting cold out in this city. For real, people don't live what they be speaking. Shit ill, I guess the cure is what I've been seeking. But still, sometimes I wonder if it's worth reaching. It's killing me, draining my energy. Weather the storm till I get the wind, I strengthen my energy. The way getting big, but I gotta move, I know that the mountain's steep. Like fuck if you proud of me, stand on that loud and clean. I guess you ain't see, I done had a couple sad days. Hella broke and smoking roaches at the ashtray. Walking for days, hoping I can find myself. That's why I grind so hard to stand like it's my last day. Can't fix the past, I done had a couple sad days. Hella broke and smoking roaches at the ashtray. Walking for days, hoping I can find myself. That's why I grind so hard to stand like it's my last day. Like it's my last. Gotta get paid today, shit real. It'll go down as if you don't pay to play. So I never read the plays. Hungry but wasting plates. It feel like the cape be keeping me sane, that's just what my demons say. Dreams that I'm out to chase. I dug at the mud, but I can't walk for you, I just lead the way. Some people found a way, more people stayed in place. I move with amazing grace. It's like I'm in love with pain. Move shifting from place to place. I gotta get straight. I done had a couple sad days. Hella broke and smoking roaches at the ashtray. Walking for days, hoping I can find myself. That's why I grind so hard to stand like it's my last day. Can't fix the past, I done had a couple sad days.
Eric Von Mason is cooking shit up.
Oh, that's a hit. That's a song right there, man.
That was the first song that I ever produced, man. And I play that song every so often to remind me of what I did.
Yeah. Is it on? Yeah. So OG McNeil's like, it's time to get it on DistroKid. Have you released it? Is it on?
I actually haven't released it, man. This is where I'm still green in some areas, coming into making these beats and production and stuff. I have a DistroKid account. I didn't link the songs there yet because I was trying to concentrate on getting everything registered with BMI. So I'm still learning as I go. But I actually should get that song released, you know what I'm saying? But it's like I said, I mean, EVM don't have all the knowledge like that. I'm still learning also, and I'm not afraid to admit that to you guys.
Yeah. Hey, no, that's all right. It's easy to release, but it's hard to get, to blow it up. You know?
Right.
I think that's everybody's music, right? That's the big puzzle.
Oh yeah.
All right. Cool. All right, G-Dog Beats can hear some ad-libs on that.
Right. When I made that beat, I left a lot of space for a rapper to jump on there. I just didn't think it was going to be my nephew.
Has he recorded any other beats? Does he have like a SoundCloud going on or something?
He's actually on Spotify. Make sure that you check him out. His name is Astro Marley.
Okay.
When I played this song for Heatwave, they actually supported me and my nephew. They actually went out and bought the single. So that's how you know you got people who not only support you and love you, man, but they also love music, and they legit went and purchased it, man. Shout out to Heatwave Music Group, Bionic 6. Shout out to my man Pre-Archery. He was one of them that ran out and bought it.
Yeah, most definitely. Cool. Yeah, everybody's the chat's blowing up. Everybody's like saying your nephew has got a flow. They like his voice. It's hard to find good rappers. That is true. That is
He's
definitely
very
true.
he's very talented, and he comes from a musical family. His mother just happens to be my sister's best friend. Her name is Shoutout Marie,
Mhm.
and she's been singing for years. And she actually sung for my sister's wedding. And you ever hear everyone knows who Her is, right?
Yep.
All right, so she sung one of her hit songs, and I actually thought Her came through to my sister's wedding. I said no. I said damn. I was like, no wonder my sister's broke. She had to go and hire Her. I turned around, it's her best friend singing. So I was like, oh. I was like, I totally forgot she had pipes.
Well, she made you remember.
Oh yeah, she did. She sung her face off. So my nephew comes from a very talented family. His sister, Amari, she's a guitar player. She plays guitar and does arranging. And Charlotta can sing, and Tony's like a great rapper.
Yeah. All right. Cool. Well, I'll tell you what. Let's go ahead and get into your next beat, and then after that, I want to talk a little bit about any.
Oh, hold up, Rodney Graves. That's cool though. You know what I'm saying? I mean,
Oh, what's that?
everybody has a right to their own opinion, my guy, and I actually appreciate it. And I want to thank everybody for coming through to this interview tonight. Shout out to one of my very close friends and sister, Brandy Fisher. She's represented from Seattle, and much love to her. And my wife is on there. What's up, Booth Dang?
So Rodney Graves, actually, he was part of the first singing group I was a part of called First Impression back when I lived in Oklahoma, and I was like,
Oh wow.
yeah, I was like, oh man, I don't know, like 20 years old, 19, 20, something like that. And we were, yeah, we used to sing together. We sang in the Apollo Theater at one point, doing amateur night and stuff. Yeah. So shout out to Rodney. Good seeing you, man.
We were watching one of your videos last week, man, and I still can't believe, like, I know you, and then I'm watching these videos. I was like, wow, this is really Jason.
Yep. Rodney was our bass. This is back when Boys to Men was real popular. You know, we were bringing most.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, he was our bass singer.
Nice.
All right, cool. Well, let's hop into the next one. You want to play No Tomorrow or Rogue One?
Let's do okay, so there's a story behind Rogue One. So let's do Rogue One, and that was my final beat going up against the Tournament of Fire champion Aaron Island, which also is one of my homies, and we developed a pretty good relationship with each other, man. And I ain't ashamed to say that Aaron whipped my ass, bro. But this was my last beat that I used going up against him, and I had no idea I was going up against him. And but this beat, it really stands out, you know what I'm saying, because it allowed me to go up against a better beat maker, you know what I'm saying, and then get props for it later by him. So whenever I hear this song, I'm like, man, Aaron gave me props for this song and a lot of other music that we did. So
That's
let's
awesome.
get into Rogue One.
Rogue One. Let's do it.
Von Mason is cooking shit up.
All right. So those reverse piano, I think it was a reverse piano sound. Was that a sound or was that a sample that you flipped reverse? Do you remember?
Okay, so it was a synthesized piano, but of course you can reverse any note on the grid once you have it snapped there. So I said,
Right.
let's make this pop a little bit. Let's reverse it a little bit. You know what I'm saying? So that's what I did.
Oh, okay. All right, cool. I like that one. It reminds me that there's a new Rogue One show coming out.
It's so funny because after I labeled this Rogue One, I later on discovered that they were going to be doing, something similar to that. I said, oh, that's pretty cool. So I was like, I'll be watching it. I'm a Star Wars fanatic, and as everybody knows, I'm an Anakin fan.
Okay, right. Yep. The one that killed all the younglings. Big fan.
You underestimate my power. He didn't mean it. Anakin was just misunderstood. That's all. You know what I mean? I don't think you had to kill a whole room filled of children, but I mean,
I mean, he can overcome any obstacle except the high ground. That's the only thing he can't.
Yeah, he messed up on the high ground. I think we all know that.
All right, cool. Well, let me go back. Oh, I wanted to talk to you about so first I wanted to say, and I think I speak for everybody in the group, that we appreciate you hosting back to back, and especially the challenges. You and Drew Burford, like, you're giving up your time, just to listen and vibe out to people's music and all of that. And these challenges I feel like each challenge gets a little better. Like there was that Boom Bap challenge, which I think there's a Boom Bap revival with like artists like Logic and people like that coming out, kind of
Right.
reinventing it, right? And then we had the Slow Jam challenge, and now I think we got another challenge coming up this week, right?
Yes.
The Space Jam? No, what is it?
Okay, so I just happened to walk in on the conversation with the Bionic 6, and they're like, we need to do something that we never did before. How about space sounds or out of space beats and stuff like that? I said, that's kind of funky. I think I like that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I'm like, I'm for that. You know what I mean? I'm like, that gives you room to do space shuttle takeoffs and stuff that you hear all in the atmosphere. So I was like, man, that's going to catch a lot of people.
Yeah, that's cool. I'm gonna try to get one in. My time is limited. Sometimes you want to go to all the lives, but you also got to have time to make a beat every once in a while, right?
Do you know what it's like hosting a show and you want to make a beat for the show, but then you have to say, okay, Troy, are we going to host it, or are we going to make a beat for it and try and host it? And then I'm always the guy that has some type of... Listen, I do IT for a living, y'all. So I can guarantee, for those that know me, and I do it, they're like, Troy, you should have this stuff together. But when you are just now getting back into technology and software is getting better every year, man, listen, I struggled in the beginning doing these shows, and I think we all did. The only person that did not struggle, and he could argue me down till he's blue in the face, yo, Pat Carney was good to go from the start. Yeah. He had his studio and all that other stuff, you know what I mean? So he was good to go live. You know what I'm saying? Brother like me, I'm using my cell phone, you know what I'm saying? I think Drew used his cell phone for a while too. And then I said, man, let me just break down and buy a camera and get some monitors and stuff like that. Oh, wife bought the monitors. So, you know what I'm saying? So I just needed the camera. Then OBS came up. And it's crazy. You can tell who supports you and who doesn't. So whenever I was doing the live and I was using Restream, the guys was like, yo, man, I can barely hear you. Or, yo, man, use OBS. So for months, I was complex. I was like, damn, man. I was like, let me just break down and download OBS, because I done paid for a subscription for Restream. And finally got Restream working and did 2 shows and it sounded great and stuff like that, man. So it's software is getting better all the time, man. You know what I mean? And OBS, and for those who do not know, if you want to use OBS rather to go live or to make your beats, because OBS enhances your beats as it is playing through the software, it is free. A lot of people thought that OBS was something that you had to pay for, but it's not. It's a free software. Restream and StreamDuck you have to pay for.
Right. Well, Restream you can do it free, but then they show their logo and all that stuff. I'm doing this on Restream.
Cool. You could do it on Restream for free, but you can't put up all your logos and all that other stuff.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You get the $25 pack, you can put up your logos and all that other stuff. So, there's that.
Yep. All right, cool. Hey, do you know if since we're talking Heatwave and lives and stuff, is Recon the Beat gonna do any more Monday nights? Or have you talked? Just curious.
At this current time, we do not know the status of Recon the Beat. We don't know what's going on. But whatever the case is, wherever he is, we're hoping he's in good spirits and he's okay. And we honestly and truthfully don't have an answer for that at this time. You know what I mean? Okay. So let's pray for him. You know what I'm saying?
Not for now, but the door's always open. That kind of
door's
thing.
Always open.
All
Sometimes you had to take a step back from social media and get yourself together. And there's nothing wrong with that whatsoever.
Yeah. All right. Fair enough. I was just curious because I hadn't seen one in a while. All right. Well, let's get into the last beat then. We have No Tomorrow. No Tomorrow's left. So let me load that up real quick. There we go. No Tomorrow. Yeah. Oh, I remember this one.
Come on, Rock. It's not a game. You want to live in the hospital for 5 weeks this time? You thought I was tough? This joke would kill you. Damn, Rock, come on. What's the matter with you?
Come on.
There is no tomorrow. There is no tomorrow.
Me neither, Aaron Island. Me neither.
for those who don't know, that last tag that you just heard, that was my boy, Dwayne Higgins, aka 3D. He did that tag for me.
Okay. All right. So, Don, your Copeland's gonna teach Aaron Island how to make his 808s go woo woo woo.
Probably because she's gonna walk in and be standing in the doorway while I'm doing this stuff, and probably be taking some type of footage. And like, hey, for a small fee, I'll send it your way.
Oh man,
that's my backbone, man. She's amazing, man. Shout out to my brother Jason, who just popped up into the chat, man. That's my roadie.
Oh, awesome, cool.
Happy birthday, bro.
Oh, happy birthday, Jason.
I didn't mention his name before, but also shout out to Logan Black. He's also one of the rappers that was in that group I told you about before, Individual Souls. Probably one of the best rappers in Reading, PA back home. And myself and Brainiac the Maniac and Logan was supposed to get together and put together like a gangstar-ish album. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, okay.
So that's something that's still in the works, something that we're still trying to get together.
Okay, cool. All right. So, what was my? I feel like I lost my. Oh, the woo-woos. All right, we're gonna.
I'm sorry.
Earlier, Aaron, he kind of explained how to do it using the envelope and all of that. If I figure it out, I'm gonna do a tutorial because I need to figure this out now. I remember what I was gonna ask. Was that beat in the last Tournament of Fire? Was that one of the ones you used in the last?
Okay, that beat. That's the beat I used against you.
That's what I thought. I thought that's the one that beat me and knocked me out.
But the thing about it is, even with the beat that you had going against me, I was like, yo, I lost. Because I ain't gonna lie, I've been following you, Jay, ever since you was Pop City Music back in Gangland. Yeah. And there's plenty of times, man, you shut the show down. Like we would just me and my wife made it a ritual. When Beat of the Week came on, we would run out, we get our wine, we get our food, break our necks getting back home, so we can get our Friday on watching Beat of the Week. And you was always one of the contestants. And every time your beat would drop, yo, I'd just throw my hands in the air and say, God damn. I was like, I said, just give Pop City Music the show, bro. Just give him the beat, yo. Because it's just crazy.
Yeah. Yeah, there were a lot of producers that shut the show down on that show.
Oh.
I bet if I had woo-woo-woos, though, I might have stayed in that tournament.
User steadily killed me calling it woo-woo-woo. Now you just pretty much encouraged me to make a song called that. But I am going to say this while it's fresh on my mind. I do have inspirations, and the way I'm going to start it off, I split it in two sections. I have my inspirations from Gangland, and it goes by the following: No H2O, Jay Sullivan, Dr. Vok, A1, Pat Carney, and Aaron Island, and OG McNeil. I pay homage and respect to those guys, and it's like I said, you gotta give everybody their flowers while they're here, let them know that they're respected and loved, man. Because those guys did nothing but put their hearts and their souls into their music, man, and they were always somebody to look up to and to look forward to on Friday nights.
Yeah. And you actually, in the little questionnaire I gave you before the interview started, you mentioned 3D too.
Yes, 3D is also one of them. And I ended up getting close to 3D when he took over for Jay, when Jay stepped away to take some breathing space. 3D was running it. And matter of fact, when my first battle I had was against some dude named Michael Jordan. and then Michael Jordan backed out, and then ended up going up against Devin Wilson, and he was my first battle ever. And 3D just happened to be hosting the show, and I won my first battle. And,
oh, cool.
Right. And 3D also was there when I was in my second battle, when it was the old Heatwave versus the Outsiders. And me and Fixin were the only ones who had wins for Heatwave that night. So we pretty much got our asses handed to us that night. But it was an experience, though, because we got to be ourselves and make some pretty damn good beats, man. And we pulled off our wins. We still lost, but the wins were everything, though.
That's cool. That's awesome. So, Stanley Ipkiss, Hotspot on Friday night. Send your beats in now for that. Here, I'll show you the. Yeah, this is just an interview show where we interview some of the hottest producers, and we try to.
Stanley, if I can say so myself, Stanley Ipkiss is a problem. He made by far the best Ultra Instinct sample into a hip hop beat ever made. The man. It is something. It was phenomenal, and salute to you for that, bro. Because I wanted to sample Ultra Instinct, but you did it to the point where I'm just like, nah, we won't be touching that.
That's saying something. That's saying something. So yes, please submit Hotspot, and I'm gonna go over the shows that you guys host after our interview's done. For anybody that's like brand new to Heatwave and they just want to know where they can submit their music and walk away with free money, I'll show you how to do that after the show.
Absolutely.
That's the email address. Just title it Hotspot, and make sure your beat does not have a tag if you're doing the Friday Night Hotspot.
If you send the beat in and there's a tag on it, you're kind of disqualified, but we will play your beat, but you just won't be able to enter. You just won't be qualified to win if the beat was chosen.
Right. And Aaron Island says, "Don't send anything in. He's trying to win."
Have you heard any of Stanley Ipkiss's beats yet, Jason?
I don't know if I have. I think I would remember if I did.
Yeah, you might want to get with him and inbox him so he can just send you a smidgen, because God knows that beat that I'm speaking about, it was enough to just make me say, all right, the show's over. I'll see y'all in 2 weeks. Like, seriously. But I believe Pat played it.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Nice.
While it's fresh on my mind, my influences are The Alchemist, DJ Premier, Pete Rock, and Timberland.
Yeah. Yeah. Not Dilla?
Dilla is in a league of his own, bro. There's special people that I have to let them have their own space. I can't put them in a category with other people, because Dilla was something special.
Yeah.
And to be honest with you, this is how special he is. You can't have a portion of a music museum dedicated to you in its own exhibit. Timberland don't got that. Dr. Dre don't got that. Pete Rock don't have that. As dope as DJ Premier is, and that's my guy, and DJ Scratch, they don't have that. But Dilla does. Dilla's beat machine and turntables is in a museum in New York, with a nice exhibit explaining how he worked his magic.
Wow. All right. Everybody's blown up. They're saying, Stanley Ipkiss, you're getting a lot of love here. They're saying I should interview you. So maybe I'll send you an invite and see if you're interested in being interviewed for the Heatwave Spotlight, and maybe you can help us get to that level. All right.
All you got to do is hear one of his beats.
Okay. All right. I think I have access to the Heatwave submissions mailbox, so I'm going to find it. I'll find it and check it out. Definitely.
Okay.
All right.
Pour a drink before you do that, though.
All right. I'll get prepared.
Yeah, get prepared. Get ready.
All right. Awesome. Well, EVM, it has been an amazing interview. I'm going to give everybody just a rundown of the events we have at Heatwave and what Heatwave is, and then I'll come back with you. But I just want to thank you for your time.
I want to thank you for giving me your time and giving me the interview. And I want to thank Heatwave, and I want to shout out the admins in the Bionic Six, Fiction, Brainiac the Maniac, Deadass Beats, the Dark One, and Grand Prix. If it wouldn't be for y'all, I don't know where I would be at right now, because y'all make me work hard and make me want to be better. And y'all keep my head up making these beats. Special shout out to my wife, Dawn Copeland. She makes me better. And Pat Cardi made a statement last Friday. He had said thank you to my wife and was like, if it wasn't for you, we wouldn't have no music from EVM. And she's also one of my main inspirations and why I do it as well.
Awesome.
If I had to say something to producers that are coming out, I will say this. Rick Ross made a song called Your Idols Are Your Rivals, and at the end of the song, he said, can all producers please get paid? Make sure that you guys never sign to give your music away to other rappers and producers and not get paid for it.
Yeah.
Because as being a producer and learning the tricks of the trade, man, we work hard making our beats. We put our heart and our souls into all this. So can you imagine having a song from JDM Music? Let's say you gave it to Cameron and Dipset, and they're spitting bars all over your stuff and you're not getting paid for it. But they're making multi-millions from it. They're making bands. You're not making anything. So always make sure that you get paid. You know what I'm saying? And this time and age, man, it's probably better to go with an independent label. At least you can be yourself. You don't have to sugarcoat and be what major record labels want you to be. Perfect example, they took Lil Uzi Vert, who was from, I want to be West Philly or New York. He was a hardcore rapper when he first came out, and Lil Uzi actually had bars. But when he signed with a major label, a label that I ain't gonna name, they had him with the tight jeans on and the purses and all that other stuff. They showed him the money. He sold himself out. Always love who you are. Don't be afraid to be who you are. And if you're that person, go independent. Don't let people control you. You're not a puppet.
All right. So wise words from a wise man. Thank you so much, EVM. I'm going to let everybody know about our upcoming events. Once again, thank you so much. It's been a great interview.
Thanks for your time. I love you all. Thanks for coming through and rocking out with me and getting to know who I am. I know it's hard listening to somebody's music and you don't know Adam about them. I'm just glad that y'all tuned in, and I'm here if y'all ever need me for anything.
Awesome. Thank you. All right. That was EVM, the freshman. A lot of people call him EVM, the graduate, just because of, advice like that. And behind every good man is a good woman. So thank you, Dawn Copeland, for supporting him. He gives so much to our group. You know, he gives us time to host these events. So I'm sure all of you agree with me when we just say a big thank you. So we appreciate that. So speaking of our events, we have on every Friday night, if you're brand new to Heatwave and you're watching this for the first time, every Friday night we have the producer Hotspot. It's at 9 p.m. Eastern time. It's hosted by Pat Carney, also known as Fiction. If you want to send your beats with no tags, let me put that up real quick. Let me put up the email address. Send it right there to heatwavesubmissions@gmail.com. And the reason we do no tags is so we actually vote on the beat, so 1 through 10. If somebody gets more 10s than anything else, they get put into the special golden circle. where, you know, your beat could be picked as the winner for that week. So the reason we do no tags is we want to keep it as bias, you know, remove as much bias as possible. So if you don't know who the beat's coming from, your vote's strictly going to be on the beat. We have cash prizes that's donated by the admins, by the group. As the event goes on, you'll see kind of the cash pot go up and up and up and up. It's always free to enter, and you could walk away with a little bit of money just for having the hottest beat for the night. I think our record is $141 for a Friday night. We also have all the winners of our Hotspot nights are put into a tournament as soon as we get 8 winners. The Tournament of Fire is, it's coming up. It's next week. I want to say it's the 30th. Pat Carney will let you know if I'm right. I believe it's the 30th. We're going to have our season 2 of the Tournament of Fire. And the last time, Aaron Island was our big winner of season 1 Tournament of Fire, and he came away with $300 just for doing that. But more than that, you're just getting like respect from other producers, and it's just kind of a thrill to know that you know, the music you're making, people are listening to and enjoying. So, and then also every Saturday night we have back-to-back, and that's hosted by Drew Burford, Brainiac the Maniac, and also Mr. Troy Copeland, EVM the freshman, who we just talked to. It's a vibe. So you can send in anything you want. If you're an artist, you know, you spit bars, you're a singer, you play the ukulele, whatever it is, just send it in. We're vibing out, and we want to listen to your music. We actually have challenges from time to time as well. This week is the space challenge. So something with, you know, outer space sounds. You know, we're going to try something new. It stretches you as a producer, and it gets you to try something maybe you've never tried before. And it's a safe space to do that, right? We're not voting or anything like that. So, well, actually, I think for the challenge, we do vote. So I stand corrected. We do vote for a winner for the special challenges, but for most Saturday nights, it's just a vibe, and we're there to listen to music. And that's it. So that has been our interview. I want to thank EVM one more time. It's been an amazing guest, and I'll see you next time in the Heatwave Spotlight by the way of the wave.